You'll see I'm not alone today. Joining me all the way from Nashville is Todd and Brooke Tilghman, coming off the high of the Grand Ole Opry stage, which now I think it's been a couple of weeks. But congratulations, buddy.
Yeah, thanks so much. I appreciate that a ton. It was, I don't know, a dream.
A dream. Is that really a dream that you had as maybe like a young singer, or is that a dream that you sort of develop as you start seeing a career in singing being an opportunity?
It's probably a mixture of both. Like growing up, I loved country music, and I've always loved, I still to this day prefer like 90s country music. But I guess when I was younger, I don't know that it was a dream of mine, because I never would have assumed that would be something that I could do. But as I entered into this as a career, then it certainly became a dream and a goal. So.
Well, and there you went, and Brooke, you were by his side the entire time, taking great behind-the-stage photos and videos. It feels like we were all there with you in a way, but you got to be there. So from your perspective, what was it like seeing Todd, knowing all the blood, sweat, and tears that it took to get there, mean for that moment?
Man, it really was a moment. I mean, I think it's I say in life you get very few of those just moments. And this was one of those moments. But for me, I think the biggest thing was just the honor. It's such a legendary stage. And who would have ever thought, like, I know we wouldn't have, that we would get to play on that. There's like a little circle on the stage. Yeah. And when you step in, I know that's the deal.
That's
I mean,
there's
this and they say it's like magical, and it really is. I mean, it's for me, it was just the honor of there's so many legendary people that have played there, and to get asked, and then for Blake to be there, and Blake to intro you, and then just to get to chit chat with Blake behind, like, he's just a regular guy. So it was just a whole experience of just the honor of it. I think for me, it was just overwhelming.
So Blake Shelton was your coach in The Voice, the season that you won. What season was that, Todd?
Season 18.
18. Has it switched? Is he still like in coach mode with you, or have y'all kind of transitioned into more friends? I mean, you've always been friendly, but does it still feel like when you see him, you see teacher?
I feel like it's probably morphed more into a friendship, Now, I'm always really honest about these things. Me and Blake ain't besties or anything, but I think even at the Opry, it was more of, now I will say there was like a couple of mentor moments, I guess. After we had two shows that night, and so after the first show, someone captured a photo of it, and I posted it on Twitter and stuff. He did come up, and in the photo, his hand is on my shoulder, but he had just given me a giant bear hug and just said, "Congratulations, how did it feel?" And then his hand was on my shoulder, and I was just telling him how it felt. And so I guess that was sort of a mentor/friend moment. So maybe a little of both.
Well, I still have some professors from school that I cringe whenever I see them out in public 20 years later. So, I mean, I completely understand. Sometimes it's just one lane, for the rest of eternity. But no, it does feel like there's a little bit of camaraderie or a little bit of friendship. And he's obviously very proud of what you've done post The Voice. I know Mississippi is obviously very proud. I'd have to say one moment, I love the song choice for your moment there at the Opry. You sang an original, your latest debut, which was, I think, Home Wasn't Built in a Day is maybe one of them. What led you to that choice?
Well, I hope, and I feel confident. I don't want to say I feel certain, but I feel confident that I'll get to go back to the Opry. But I guess I kind of thought in that moment, if that's going to be the only moment that I get to have there, I sort of wanted to do the best I could to share my story. So Home Wasn't Built in a Day, it's all true. The whole song is true about us and about our lives. Every word, like every lyric, I tell everybody everywhere I go, we took no creative liberties on that. It's all true. And so I guess that, and then also with Home Wasn't Built in a Day, we were planning on doing it and putting it out there. But frankly, Nashville's a tough town, and it's hard. And we had a lot of interest, and we had a few promises even. Well, I mean, they seemed like promises to me. And so, and then they kind of fell through. And so when we found out about the Opry, we just decided on our own. I mean, when I say on my own, I mean me and the people that work with me. I have a team that I trust and lean very heavily on, but that team is not like a record label, you know. And so we just sort of decided that since the Opry is going to happen, we're going to go ahead and put the song out so that, number one, it'll be out there earlier, and number two, I can do it on the Opry and I can share my heart and tell my story. And so that's kind of one of the reasons that I chose it.
And I think that's one reason that America fell for you and your family, including Brooke, during The Voice, was your authenticity and your willingness to kind of share it all. I know Brooke he's probably like sometimes looking at your social media a little bit more, than others.
Always.
But you took a huge leap of faith to follow his dream, his, sort of new passion or purpose from leaving Meridian, taking your family to Nashville. So when you hear the song, you understand that it's not all glitz and glam. It's not everything that, glitters is necessarily always gold behind closed doors. So how has that journey been for you, Brooke, as sort of the matriarch, holding things together while he's, out there singing?
Don't tell the whole truth.
It's definitely worth it. I'm looking forward to the next moments that are coming, because God has definitely been showing me he's doing a new thing in our lives. But I will say the first year, especially down here, I had a very tough time. I missed home. I missed my familiar. I think when things are scary, you're not 100% sure, you crave familiar. And I wanted my familiar, and I was used to Todd being around all the time. We went to church. He was the pastor. We were at church together. We did mostly everything together, and that really changed. And it just took a season of me adjusting. But it really helps. I believe in Todd. I believe, how he leads his family. And not to say that I don't have times I sit down and say, hey, babe, what's up? What we doing? But I have a lot of faith in him. He's never let me down. And God, of course, has never let us down. So I know he isn't going to in this process. So it's definitely been a transition. It is not all glitz and glamour. And we like to tell people, I think people think you win The Voice and you become rich and famous and, and you ride off in the sunset. It is not like that. The Voice is an amazing opportunity. It gives you exposure, but then it's hard work. It's hard work for this entire family to make this work.
Yeah, I've said several times in the beginning, people would ask me like, what's the hardest part? And I don't even remember what my answer was, but now I think, at least at this point in our journey, I think the hardest part, and I mean this, hopefully everyone who follows this journey knows I love them, man. And so I mean this so respectfully. The hardest part is public perception. The public sort of looks at you and they think it's all great and all wonderful, and you're on the yellow brick road. But man, it's hard work. And in the last 2 years, I'm not even kind of exaggerating. In the last 2 years, I've had more no's than I had in the 42 years before that of my whole life. But you just keep plugging away, and you can ask my manager. I texted him today. I just stay on him. I'm like, what's up? What are we doing? What about this? What if we call this person?
And I stay on him. He stays on his manager because I stay on him. I'm like, what we doing, babe? What we doing? What's up? What's going on?
Well, they say Nashville's a tough town, and you're right behind you. You had Chapel Hart, who came and had their Grand Ole Opry debut. They've been in Nashville for many, many years. And so it sounds there's so much similarity in terms of your stories of you think you win these big shows or you think that you have it made, but really it's in the trenches doing the hard work Monday through Friday, sometimes Monday through Sunday, before you get that yes. So that yes for the Grand Ole Opry was a big deal.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah, that was huge. And frankly, I mean, I hope I'm not shooting myself in the foot because I've said this to several outlets. I would love, when I say independent, I don't mean as an island. Like I said, I have lots of people that are surround this work, and I like rely and lean heavily on them, and they are fantastic. But I would love to succeed at this independently. You have a lot more freedom to be who you are, because I don't fit like snugly into country. I don't fit snugly into Christian. I love the Lord and I do Christian, but I also do country. And so if I stay independent, I can just keep doing whatever I want,
I totally get that. Can you stay with us for just a little bit through the break?
Sure.
because I
Sure
want to get
thing,
to y'all's
absolutely.
book too, Every Little Win, that's also out for people to enjoy. So we've got more with the Tillmans coming Weather Channel, and if you're there, you'll see we're continuing our conversations with the Tillmans. I got Todd and Brooke joining me today, and they're Meridian natives, but they're living in Nashville now. And Todd just came off the Grand Ole Opry stage, but I saw where on bookshelves everywhere, y'all's book, Every Little Win, is now out and available. So another congratulations on that
Thank you.
project coming to fruition. I think the last time y'all were here in studio for Good Things, it hadn't been released yet. It was still kind of a work in progress. So that's been a minute. So give us a little background now that we can go and purchase it. Let's rewind a little bit. What is the book about?
All right. Do you want to go or do you want me to go?
I can start.
You go.
I mean, a big deal to us, and Todd talks about this a lot, is people's stories. I love to hear people's stories, and I love to share our story. I think that's just what kind of connects people, and so it's basically our story. And it's really, I mean, yes, Todd won The Voice, but it's really all the victories along the way. It's really about our journey as a couple, as growing up. And we got married very young. We had a ton of kids. We did a lot of things unconventionally. We were pastors. We had a lot of heartbreak. We kind of were just ourselves because we've always been super authentic. We had a few people like, wow, that you shared all that.
Like,
we were like a little nervous. We were like, oh God, maybe we shared a little too much. But it's just really the story of our lives and where God has brought us so far, and how he has redeemed our story and made beauty out of some messy places in our lives. And, we talk about parenting, we talk about pastoring, we talk about
mental
getting married
health.
young, we talk about mental health. That's a big deal for me. I've went through several different, I think being
almost divorcing,
a pastor's wife, or being in the Christian world, sometimes that's shunned to talk about and be open about struggling with anxiety or depression and things like that. But I'm very open because I know for me, that's been the most freeing thing, is to share my story and know I'm not alone. So I hope that helps other people, but it's just, it really covers a lot of bases.
Yeah. Lots of different, it was really
Raising
important.
Kids,
yeah. It was really very, very important to us. Because in the beginning, it was hard to know what they were wanting to do when they reached out and said, hey, we need to write a book. And it was hard to know, but it sort of evolved more, and I'm glad it did, more into because it became really important to us that that the things that matter, like we share in the book, that the things that really matter most are accessible to us all. Sure, I went on TV and I won The Voice, and that doesn't happen to everyone. I get that. But really the things that matter the most are accessible to us all, and it's
really live a great story.
Yeah, it's a story of gratitude, I think, and struggle.
Story.
It's kind of a memoir, but as much courage as it took, I think even Brooke here, I think she still knows that discretion is, after all, the better part of valor. We didn't tell everything.
We left a few things to imagination.
You'll have the second book that will come out later and sometime, and that's when you can spill the rest of the tell-all book. That's when you're well into your 70s and 80s and don't give a hoot anymore, and you're like, here's everything. Let me serve it up.
Y'all just follow my Facebook.
Yeah, that's
Instagram,
when I'm writing a book.
And you'll get it all.
When I stop caring is when I'm going to write a book about what it really is to pastor a church, what the real truth behind the curtain,
So that would be y'all just wait till my mom and daddy are with Jesus, and then I'm going to unleash everything on this family.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold a little reverence while they're still on this side of the grave, but you just wait until the, sort of the time is right. But, you mentioned earlier, Todd, that you don't feel like you fit snugly in with country, or you don't fit snugly in with Christian music or whatever it may be. How intentional, though, have you been to stick to where you do feel snugly? Have you fought for that to sort of stay Todd Tilghman?
Yes, yeah, I have, and frankly, it has cost me. Depending on what you look at as currency, I guess. But it has cost me a couple of times. But yeah, I've been really even the team that I work with now. It's funny because in all of my years of traditional ministry, I was and I still am to a degree, but I was just this diehard diplomat,
And he is not confrontational.
Yeah, no. But now even the team that I work with now, I'm like, nah. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't feel like that's me. I don't feel comfortable with that. Even on the Grand Ole Opry, we had a little back and forth about, because frankly, there's two versions of Home Wasn't Built in a Day. Both of them are very good.
Fabulous.
Both of them, as far as production, I'm not trying to say like, oh, look how good I sing.
No,
I'm talking about,
love both of
yeah,
them.
I'm talking about production wise. They're both really
the
good.
acoustic.
There's an acoustic version that I love the most. And so right now we're actually pushing. I guess it's a good spot, just as good a spot as any on the radio. We're pushing to get my YouTube numbers to a certain place. We want to get the subscribers to 10,000 and the video views on Home Wasn't Built in a Day to 10,000. And if we do that, I'm going to release the acoustic on the 30th, the acoustic version. But with the Opry, some members of the team said full version. I said acoustic version. We sort of had a battle for a while, and we met in the middle is what we ended up doing. We did part of it the acoustic way and part of it the full way.
Well, you just gave us a good way, though, Todd. I was going to ask, how can we support you if that's what your dream would be, to be an indie artist or sort of pave the way of your own? I think we can all respect that. But that takes people, liking and sharing and listening and buying. And, so how do you make it as an indie artist? Like, how can people support that?
Just on a boots on the ground kind of level, the honest, like rubber meets the road truth is, don't forget me. I know the voice has been 2 years ago, but hang in there and keep sharing and keep liking and keep commenting. Right now there's a reason, but it's important that we get the YouTube, because I don't know if it's the demographic of my following or what it is, but it is tough for me to drive traffic to YouTube.
Facebook is huge.
Yeah, I've had to explain to a couple of people even that YouTube is free. I've had a couple of people like, oh, I can't really afford it. I'm like, oh, it's free. YouTube's free. You don't have to pay anything for it. Now you have to watch ads, but really just please stream the music. That matters. Watch the videos, whatever we post. And really, one thing that's hard, and this will actually hit you guys in a good way. One thing that's hard to explain too is you want all of the people who are interested in what you're doing to remain interested, especially media outlets and things. And so if I share an article, I really do appreciate how many of my people that follow me like that and love that, but I also need them to click the article and like the original post from the outlet that posted it, so that outlet sees that there is still interest. There's a ton of people out there that are still on board, but that's what you can do. Go to YouTube, subscribe, watch the videos, stream the music, like and share on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all the things. It's a different world now. And sadly, social media might not be on the highest throne, but it's on a pretty high one out there for people in Nashville, Tennessee, and so
what you're trying to do.
It's a full-time job. Yeah,
it's a full-time job for sure. And I was just going to say, people
social media is part of the job.
Part of the job, as well as remembering that your indie artists are like small business mom and pop shops, right? And their Facebook pages are their storefronts. And so when you hear people like Todd, or even, we're big fans too of Chapel Hart here, when they talk about how being an indie artist means you have to show up for them, not just cheer for you whenever we see you on TV. You're supporting a local business. I mean, you're supporting, a family, and it's not always just corporate musicians out there who are passionate and putting out good stuff. So that's a good reminder for us today, I think, as well.
I want to say Chapel Hart is amazing.
Oh, we love them.
Have been at our house. My kids love them.
Yeah,
Mississippi
we've
folks
been good
are
friends
the
with
best.
them for a good while.
Yeah,
I love
Todd's
them.
done some shows with them. They're phenomenal, just phenomenal.
I think, if I remember, Todd, in the very, very beginning, when Chapel Hart made it onto AGT, you tweeted out, Facebooked out something out, y'all are going to win this. I think you were one of the first supporters. Yeah. And even though, that didn't work out for them, they still won in a lot of people's, in the choice of public opinion for sure. But it's good to see that you guys are at least, on this. You are on the same team, but being from the same state, it's good to know that you are real friends.
And you can. Yeah, I tell people, Chapel Hart especially, and a couple of other people, y'all cannot support them enough. I'm telling you, they are just, and really just even off the stage, just great.
Mississippi, what the talent?
Yeah.
I mean, the talent is insane in Mississippi. It really is.
Well, the next time y'all are in Mississippi and coming back home, I know you'll be back for the holidays, come see us in studio.
Yep.
Bring your guitar.
Sure
I'll let you do acoustic.
Okay, I have to bring somebody with me. I don't play guitar, but I got people that'll come with me. I don't know how to play anything. I never learned.
Well, that's all right. You could just
My
sing.
fingers won't do the things. Yeah. Oh, I can bring someone with me that'll play with me.
Well, it's been a pleasure catching up with you guys. Where can we find you? Where's all the places?
Everywhere. ToddTofficial.com is my website. I'm on Spotify. I'm on Apple Music. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm even on TikTok, believe it or not. So all the things, they can find me all over those things.
And you can find me, Brooke Tilghman, on Facebook, Instagram. I tell all the business that he doesn't tell. So if you're nosy, follow me. And him too.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate your time today. Congratulations. I know it won't be the last time you're on that stage, and you're welcome back anytime.
Thanks so much.
Stick with us.